Hi guys, welcome to the Fighter Show. Today we are talking about the superpower of the engine of the Eurofighter Typhoon. With 180 kilonewton in full reheat and a thrust-to-weight ratio of 1.67, the Eurojet 200 is one of the most and best engines in the world and is making the Eurofighter one of the fastest ever. Are you ready for this? Well then, gentlemen, start your engine! In thrust we trust. If that's valid, then definitely for the Eurofighter Typhoon and its EJ200 engines. Today we're here at MTU in Munich, one of the manufacturers of the Eurojet 200 engine. And next to me is now Heiko. Hi Heiko, how are you doing?
Hi Flo, welcome to MTU.
Heiko, you are a test bed engineer, right?
Yes.
So what do we see behind us here?
Here we see an EJ200 model in our museum.
Oh, come on. Heiko, we are the Fighter Show. I bet you've got the real stuff. We don't need to talk about models. Have you real engines here?
You want to see a real flight engine?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Let's go.
Let's go.
So, Heiko, this is now a real EJ200?
That's a really flying EJ200, fresh repaired, and we prepare it now for the test.
Okay, so let's go, guys. Ready?
Ready.
Wow guys, here it is, the real thing. And I mean, that's the front part, that is the rear part. But Heiko, I need to be honest, I don't know very much more about engine technology. So can you tell me how a fighter jet engine works?
Yes, I can show you. Here in the front we have the low pressure compressor, the intermediate case, and here in this side the high pressure compressor, where we compromise the air for the combustor. In the combustor, we inject the fuel, we burn the fuel, and come here in this area in the turbine where we take out the most energy for the compressors.
Okay, that means if we cut the engine, that the turbine is around here?
Around there, yes.
Okay.
That's the end of the normal engine. Yeah. Here begins the afterburner.
So the fun part.
Yes. And on the rear we have the nozzle. The nozzle is a convert divergent nozzle where we can axle the airflow speed to supersonic condition.
Now I always thought the afterburner would be the whole thing, but it's that size here, right?
Yes.
But what we can see is that the afterburner section is almost half of the size of the complete engine. That's massive.
We need the size because we take in here a lot of fuel, and we need the size to burn the fuel. It needs a little bit of time, and the flame takes out of the engine around 15 to 20 meters.
15 meters?
Yes.
I mean, this is... Heiko, what's the difference between this fighter jet engine and a normal commercial airline engine? I bet, yes, it's got no afterburner, of course, but is there anything different in addition when you say fighter jet engine, commercial airline engine?
Yes, the big difference is that we have here a very small bypass. A big airliner engine has a very big bypass.
So bypass means the air that is floating around the engine, right? It's not getting into it.
Okay. So here we have a very small bypass. So the reason is a big airliner needs a lot of mass flow and bring it to a higher speed, but what we do here is we take a small mass airflow and bring it to much more speed, to supersonic condition, because we need supersonic speed outside of the engine to bring the plane to supersonic flight condition.
Yeah, and you wouldn't want to have an A320 flying supersonic, right?
Yes, it was a nice thinking, yes.
Now, talking about the EJ200 itself, if you could name one thing that makes the EJ200 special, so one thing where you say this is top notch.
One of the special things of the EJ200 is the blisk.
Blisk means what?
Blisk means that we have blades and disc in one part.
Okay, can we see that
yes,
somewhere?
Yes, I can show you.
Okay.
Okay, here you can see the disc and the under disc welded blades. So both together, blade and disc are bliss. So that is a very light build up of the part. It is one part, it is very strong, and it looks good.
Okay, so light, robust, good looking, which is always important for a fighter jet, right?
Correct.
So, Heiko, let's talk a bit more about the parameters, the basic parameters of the EJ200.
Yes, the engine is around about 4 meters long. We have a weight of a little bit more than 1 ton. And the fuel consumption of the engine in dry condition is 1.5 liters per second. When we take the afterburner on, then we can grow up the fuel consumption to 6 liters per second, around about 360 liters per minute.
Okay, it sounded first to me a bit low when you were talking about 1.6 or 6 liters compared to a car that needs 6 liters on 100 kilometers. But in a second, this is quite something, right? How does the power of the engine get into the rest of the aircraft?
The power of the engine in the aircraft we take over by this shaft.
That little thing?
There we grow up the 9 tons of thrust into the plane.
Heiko, that engine behind us is made ready for testing. But what is the normal lifespan of an EJ200? How many flight hours can you fly with it?
We have no fixed flight hours between the maintenance for the engine. We calculate the cycles for the lifing from different parts, but the flying hours are around about 1,000 to 1,200 hours. Then the engine comes back to us for inspection and maintenance.
And how does the maintenance look like for an EJ200?
Oh, that will done in our maintenance line, and I think the better thing is you go to Christoph, and Christoph will show you and ask all your questions you want.
Okay, got it. Now, Heiko, we see each other back when the test run is starting, and beforehand, I'll pay a visit to Christoph. So this is the Fighter Show with Flo. Excuse me, are you Christoph?
Yes.
Hi Christoph, good to see you.
Hi Flo.
Heiko sent me over because I wanted to learn a bit more about the maintenance of the EJ200, and he said you are the absolute expert about that, correct?
Nice to hear that. Yes.
So what exactly are you doing here?
In our workshop we carry out the maintenance, repair and overhaul activities for the EJ200 in-service engines, and in addition the final assembly of new engines.
Okay, and you got a lot of engines standing around here. One is over there. Yes. How many parts does an EJ200 have?
Oh, that's a tricky question. We have around about 3,500 different parts installed in the engine, and some of them, like bolts, are installed several times, so it is a very big number.
Got it. Now, the interesting part of every fighter jet engine is the afterburner, of course. Heiko told me a lot about it, and he also told me a lot about the fuel consumption of it. So you need a lot of fuel pumped into it.
Yes.
Where is the fuel pumped into
So here you can see the afterburner module, and here are the fuel manifolds.
Okay, and how does that look from the inside? Where does it go into the inside?
I will show you a disassembled module, so we can have a better look.
Okay, let's do that.
So here you can see disassembled module 14, the afterburner module.
So afterburner is 14 out of 15, right?
Yes.
That's the part we saw already at the other engine, right?
Yes, here you can see the fuel manifolds for the afterburner system.
Okay, and when we now look inside the afterburner, this is the moment, guys. Where does the fuel come out?
In general, we have here 3 different injection stages: the primary injection, core injection and the bypass injection.
So the bypass one are the small ones on the outer side, and the core one, those sticks that are below.
You're right.
Okay, and we see a lot of holes in here. What are they good for?
The holes you can see here are cooling holes. They are inside the heat shield here, and this is a thermal protection for the outer casing.
Okay, understood. And on that rim that we see here, there's where the nozzle is then fixed, right? Yeah. And that's the next part, and that's
we have
standing over here. Okay, got it. So that's the nozzle, the rear part of the engine, right? And you can move it, you can open it and close it, right?
Yes.
So what is that good for?
It's good to adjust the exhaust gas velocity. It's, for example, important for the pilot to increase the speed of the aircraft.
Okay. Now, But this is all fixed, Christoph. Why can't I move it?
Here, to open and close the nozzle, we have here 4 hydraulic nozzle actuators. To open and close the van in our shop, we have an electrical screwdriver.
Okay, easy.
So I can show you if you want.
Here we go. Fantastic. That's quite a diameter now.
Yes.
Cool. And once you assembled all the engine again,
After finishing our job here, we have to test the engine on a test bed.
so that's Heiko's part then.
Yes.
That means I go over for Heiko to testing, and I'm leaving you here. Thank you very much, Christoph, for being part of the Fighter Show. That's
you very
yours.
much.
I go over to Heiko now for the Afterburner testing, and this is the Fighter Show with Flo. Hey Heiko, back again.
Yeah, Flo,
How's it
fine.
going?
Feel fine.
Now, Christoph told me that the next step is the engine test. Yes. Are we ready?
Yes, the engine is ready. But you have to bring the engine into the test bed.
Me.
Yes.
With that
Use the
one?
trailer. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
How should I do that?
I show you. Use the transportation system.
Yeah.
Take it down.
So bring your own engine.
And
Oh, slow.
okay.
Heiko, we finally managed to get that thing here into the chamber without any damage. We are now in the test room. What's the next step?
The next step is we connect the frame with the engine by the crane into the thrust frame and make the engine clear for start.
And there's this big hole in the back. What it's all about that?
That's the dituner where the airflows is gone. I can show you.
Oh yeah. Oh wow, that looks like being somewhere in outer space.
Yes.
So that's the end of the hole,
Correct.
the dark hole. Let me have a look. Hello? Can anybody see me? And so the stream of the air is going through that hole,
Yes.
through the tunnel, and then through the whole room. And what if I would stand here when you got the afterburners on?
Afterburner is on, then we have here a flame temperature of 1.7 thousand.
Okay, no, guys, I won't do that. We will start now with the testing. You can watch that. And yeah, this is the Fighter Show with Flo. Guys, here we are now in the control room. Heiko, what's happening?
Now the engine is clear for start. And if you want, you can start the engine if you push the pilot's lever from shut to idle.
Okay, you tell me what I need to do, okay?
3, 2, 1, go. Yes. It works.
Heiko, we started the test now. How does the normal test run look now?
Now we are in idle condition. We look for the measurement system, for the function of the engine, and when we are safe, then we can step by step grow up to higher conditions.
Okay, so we are in idle because the engine was cool beforehand, and
Yes.
you need to
warm
it up.
Correct. We warm up the oil system, and we take us the time to look for the function.
Heiko, asking for a friend. When do we start with the afterburner?
At first, we grow up the engine to max dry condition, hold them there, and after that, we can light up the afterburner.
Okay. This is now max dry.
That's max dry.
Oh, you can feel it already.
Yes?
And afterburner is in 1 minute, 2 minutes.
How you want?
Okay, now guys, it's taken a bit of time for the afterburner. This is max dry. Stay tuned, and this is the Fighter Show with Flo and the famous ET200 from the Eurofighter Typhoon. Are we ready?
We are ready to light up the afterburner.
Okay guys, it's time for the afterburner. Let's switch out the light and let the candle burn. Heiko, the ground is still vibrating from the Afterburner in the back. Thank you very much for being our guide today. Here is your fighter show patch.
Thanks, Roger.
Thank you. Guys, this was the episode on the famous Eurojet 200 engine from the Eurofighter Typhoon. We are enjoying the Afterburner a little more. Take care, see you soon, and may the Air Force be with you.